Guys, what's going on? It's me, Scott here. Welcome to another episode of Ride Along. We've got B-Man.
What up?
And I've got Troublemaker back.
Whoop, whoop.
So
First
yeah,
time in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a minute, right? Yes, so we're gonna do our Royal Rumble predictions. Lots of wrestling talk. For once, we've actually got a lot to talk about this week. Holy fuck!
I know, right?
Right? And then so let's get right into it. Raw, Smack.
Well,
Raw. Sorry, not Smack. Well, actually, last week's SmackDown.
Well, last week's Smack, I don't remember too much about it. I know they did the contract signing. That was kind of. I love what Nick Aldis is doing with the whole thing with Roman Reigns, because first it was like they had that triple threat between Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles. And then, like, Roman, of course, interferes. He tries to beat everybody up. And then, so Nick Aldis is like, no, man, you're going to have to face all three of them now. So they made it a fatal four-way. And then last week, they did the contract signing. Orton, Knight, and Styles all come out and sign the contract. But then Heyman comes out and like, no, Roman's not signing the contract tonight. So Nick Aldis is like, fine, we'll just make a triple threat match for the vacant, undisputed WWE Universal Championship. So I was like, no, you can't do that. I love what he's doing. He's just like, he's not putting up with Roman shit, and I love it. It's so refreshing.
Can I move your pop to the back? Sorry, it's just really bothering me for some reason. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I love what Nick Aldis is doing. He's not taking any of Roman, anybody else really, not taking any of their shit, and that's refreshing in a GM. I like that. As far as Raw goes,
Cody Rhodes and CM Punk promo.
That was a good promo. Yeah, I like that. Punk's like, I'm more of an American Dream than you are, and Cody Rhodes like, well, I'm more a CM Punk than you are. So that was pretty funny. Oh, also on SmackDown too, did you guys see? It was actually a few weeks ago, but did you guys see the creation of what they're calling it now, Final Testament or something?
Oh, is that with the Authors of Pain and
Karrion Kross?
Yep.
Who's the actual manager though? Is it Paul Ellering or is it Scarlett? Because I don't think there should be.
I think it's Paul.
It should be Paul, honestly. Like nothing against Scarlett. She'd be. If she's a valet, I guess that's one thing. But if she's the actual manager, I don't think they need two managers.
I was gonna say, so she's more of a valet, and then he's probably the manager.
Yeah, that makes more sense. That's pretty cool. And then of course you got Lash. I think they're calling.
She's the tits and ass.
Come on, man. It's 2024.
You can't be saying stuff like that no more.
I went to a show last weekend. They said it.
Jeez.
But and then they got, of course, they're feuding with Lashley and the Street Profits. Like, I think they're calling them the Pride or something now, which is kind of a dumb name if you ask me. But
you can't say that. It's almost February.
The Pride?
Yeah, because it's almost February. You can't say that. It's okay. Go ahead.
Anyway, so I kind of have a bit of a complaint here because, like, for Raw, they've had all this time to book matches for the Royal Rumble, but they haven't booked any. It's 2 SmackDown matches and the 2 Royal Rumble matches. That's it. Nothing else. So freaking weird. I don't get it.
Though, Seth Rollins is on there.
Well, okay, but it's not like he's the only Raw superstar. Hell, even they have next week they booked a ton of matches for this following Raw after the Rumble. But you couldn't book one. You couldn't book 1 or 2 for the pay-per-view. Like they even had. Okay, so they had. I think next week they're booking a tag team title match for the undisputed tag titles. It's going to be DIY versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest. They booked a match between Jey Uso and Bronson Reed, and they booked an Intercontinental title match between Kofi Kingston and Gunther. Right? Booked 3 matches for Raw. I couldn't put one of those matches on the pay-per-view. Or even this, they had a no contest between New Day and Imperium. They couldn't book a rematch for the pay-per-view, like a no disqualification match or something. I don't get it. I really don't. It's so stupid.
I predict that one of those matches is gonna end. Holy crap! Gas is 138. Oh, sorry. That one of those matches is gonna be like disqualified or whatever, and it's just gonna roll over to the Royal Rumble. More than likely it'll be the tag team match.
Well, no, because the Rumble's already gonna happen. I'm talking about those matches are gonna be on Raw next week.
Yeah, I know. Oh, right.
The Raw after the
Rumble's tomorrow.
Rumble's tomorrow, and then for the Raw they booked last week on Raw, they booked a ton of matches for this upcoming Raw, but no matches for the pay-per-view. That's what I'm saying.
Well then, I guess SmackDown has to fill in the rest of the blocks.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's been all SmackDown. They have 2 SmackDown matches and the 2 Royal Rumble matches. That's it.
Is Damage Control in a match yet?
No, they're in the Rumble. I think I know Bailey is at least. I don't know about any of the rest of them. But yeah, they have Asuka and Kairi Sane have a tag team title match that's on SmackDown. As I was recording, already happened, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, so I don't know if they won or not. What else happened on Raw? So yeah, they, like I mentioned, Kofi, New Day, Kofi and Woods battled Imperium, and they went to a no contest because they were just fighting all over the arena.
There was a very important thing that happened on Raw. Okay, R-Truth made more money selling merch.
And that's another thing
He had
too.
a big stack of cash. I saw it. It's the truth.
Yeah, and then the Drew and Priest match was pretty decent. The Priest kind of looks kind of dumb lately, don't you think? Because he's had these opportunities to cash in and he hasn't done it. And even he could have easily, when Seth was cutting his promo, he could have easily come out from behind, attack Seth, hit him with the briefcase, cashed in, become world champion, but he still didn't do it.
See, that's something I don't understand either. The end of Raw a few weeks ago, I don't know why he didn't cash in. Everyone was down.
That too. It's ridiculous. I don't know what they're planning to do with him. I really don't. That's so freaking weird. But
maybe it's a Mania thing.
Maybe he'll cash in at Mania. I don't know. That'd be kind of funny. That'd be kind of cool.
I think they're still building him up though, because that was one of the first Damian Priest promos.
Well, they're doing a hell of a job at making him look like a complete and total moron.
Well, yeah. Okay, so outside of the not cashing in, his promo cut for the match with Drew McIntyre, I haven't seen many of those for him as of late. So that is pushing it in our faces. That is making us believe that character. You know what I'm saying? More character development under his belt. So by the time he becomes you need the crowd, bro, to chant Priest, or Damien. You need that, because all the other great champs from the past, they had chants going on. You know what I'm saying? Or if not chants, singing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Seth Rollins and stuff. Yeah.
So
Shinsuke as well.
Yeah. That's good.
So you need something for the crowd to say.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed in majority of these matches. Some of these wrestlers have really dope names.
Yeah.
But it's hard to come up with a chant for some of them. I'm not hearing Kaiser. I'm not.
Well, it's because he's a heel.
Elegance. But he's badass. Sharp-looking man. He could be the next Randy Orton, I swear. He just needs, I don't know, he needs something for the crowd to chant, though. That's because, you gotta sell to the audience.
Yeah, I guess so. I just don't know what they're doing. There's talks about they might be turning a face, having a Judgment Day kick him out. I don't know.
Who? Damian Priest?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Damien, they could do almost like an Omen character. That's
what I thought they were going to do with him.
Because if you've seen I think the movie is called The Omen or Damien. What's actually filmed in the cemetery near my house. The lead character's name is Damien. So they could do a horror gimmick right there. If they went that route. Well, no, because when he first started and I think it was NXT, Daniel, didn't he have a vampire style gimmick?
No, it was more like a hellish priest kind of thing.
Well, that's what I mean. It was a vampire, a hellish gimmick. So he has that horror in him.
Yeah, he has the name and he's part of the group.
I get what you're saying. If they dress him up and make him in face paint, almost like Finn Balor, a dual personality.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to put him in a cloth and robe and hold a Bible and call himself a priest.
Well, if you remember some of his old entrants, right?
Yeah.
You saw one side was light, one side was fire-ish hell.
The Arts of Infamy or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
So that played a lot more into his name.
I like what you're saying about this character development. I really need to focus on that. But now that we've got Triple H involved, we're seeing that.
We're also seeing huge attitude shifts.
Yeah.
New Day is going off the charts. Like
Yeah.
Xavier Woods is looking more and more like a guy from the Attitude Era, like just psychotic.
Yes.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling this is a newer day. Like,
Speaking of pushes, I like what they're doing with Ivar since Eric's been injured. Although they had him lose to Tozawa a couple weeks ago, but they had him lose to Tozawa, but he ends up beating Chad Gable. Like, make it make sense.
Well, it's very hard to keep a tag team gimmick intact when your partner is injured.
No. I'm not
Have a
saying anything
yeah.
about the tag team. I'm saying how I like how they've been pushing him.
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is how they have a guy like Tozawa beat him, but then the next week
Well,
he
what I'm
beats
saying
Chad
is,
Gable.
In those situations, like if your partner's up for a long time,
No,
there's no point in changing your gimmick.
No.
and then
I'm
go
not
back-
saying anything
yeah.
about the gimmick. I'm not
So-
saying anything about.
I'm just saying that though. Like,
I'm not
just
saying like
it's a
they
statement.
shouldn't be doing anything with them. I'm glad they are. I'm glad they're doing
I'm
stuff
saying
with
it,
them.
though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you.
in regards to what you're saying, B-Man, I think that Tozawa needed that win more than Chad Gable needs that win, because Chad Gable is going to be molding himself into the future like Kurt Angle. You know, he has the look, a similar style. People know him, and you know he's got the thank you. You know, like he does his thing, and he's got this clique, this huge, almost like stable, like those other guys that came from NXT, right? Like they keep hanging around the Alpha Academy and stuff. Tozawa
Oh
is
yeah,
not a
the
joke.
Creed brothers. Yeah.
Tozawa is not a joke, even though he's been part of a lot
He's
of.
been portrayed as a joke for quite a long time now, though.
But he has a huge background. Like he
Yeah.
was in New Japan Wrestling.
That's
Like he has a very talented background. It's just that unfortunately, WWE always had this reputation under Vince McMahon of having big, quoting by the way, big sweaty men. Like that's what they liked.
yes.
They didn't like the cruiserweights as much.
I would argue though.
Yeah.
I would argue though Gable needed that win a lot more than Tozawa does, because Tozawa, like, okay, he got a win, that's great, but is anybody really gonna remember in a couple weeks?
You remembered it?
Well, it's only been like a week or two, but anyway, my point is a guy like Gable, they were even pushing Gable a while back. They gave him like two really great matches against Gunther, for Pete's sake. Gunther, the guy's been a fucking beast. He's been a menace since he came up to the main roster. They gave Gable good victories against him. They pushed Gable. People were rooting for him to win the title. That's how well they were pushing him. But now they have him lose to a guy who couldn't beat one of his disciples. You know?
I see what you're saying.
If
but
it were Otis, I would see, like, okay, if Ivar couldn't beat Otis, that I could see, but not Tozawa.
there's a few things there. Like I watched that match in full detail, watched it back again. It shouldn't have even match shouldn't have
barbecue.
gone on that
Yes.
long.
Yeah,
Like
that too.
Like that's one thing. So that's also selling for Ivar. It's also because he's this barbarian type character.
Exactly.
You know, so
Shouldn't be losing to a comedy character.
but he did, and that is also a win for the Alpha Academy. So when you look at it from one way or another, Tozawa, he doesn't have the biggest win streak, so it's a bigger payday for him. Chad Gable, again, he's already established, and yes, he's a force to be reckoned with, and he will have his time. But while Ivar's brother, or like
His partner.
is out currently, for Ivar to be losing every single match, it's not the best look either.
No, he doesn't have to. No, I like that they were pushing him. I get that.
So some weeks he has to win, some weeks he has to lose. Like that's
Okay, and that's fine, but it's who they have him lose and then who they turn around and have him beat. It's like, I don't know, let's say they had Roman Reigns, they had him lose to fucking, I don't know. Let's say they have him beat I don't know. If Roman Reigns were still wrestling right now, which he really isn't doing much of, but if he were wrestling on a constant basis, one week he beat, I don't know, say Kevin Owens, and then he turn around the next week and he loses to, say, I don't know, fucking Ricochet. Would that be believable to you?
you know, there could have been circumstances that led to it. But remember, Kevin Federline beat John Cena.
Exactly. Did that really make a whole lot of sense?
But it was just the way that had to play out. Like John Cena's reputation, he's still top dog. Chad Gable he has a bright future in WWE. One loss to a Barbarian, which is going to also continue the rivalry between both groups until his partner comes back. You kind of have to keep it interesting.
Yes, I understand that. I do. I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that a big guy like Ivar, a guy's like 300 plus pounds, right? They've been trying to portray him as a monster lately, and they've been doing a good job. My point is a guy who couldn't beat one of your one of your students, one of your lackeys, whatever, who's been portrayed as a comedy jobber for years. He couldn't beat that guy, but he can. The very next week, he can beat you.
I get.
Is that really a good look?
Like it makes sense.
How does it make sense?
It makes sense on the grounds that Chad Gable will have to go back and even like tell himself, all right, I thought I had this, but I gotta work harder now, and also push the rest of my crew to work harder now. Because like when you're at the top, when you remain at the top, it's really hard to tell where your skill level's at until something humbles you. So how did Tozawa pull off the victory that Chad Gable fought tooth and nail to get? You know what I'm saying? And in a way, they all got the crowd routed up. It was great. It was a great match. One of the longest matches. That was not the main event in a while. But
anyway.
Also, you gotta give a hand to Valhalla. If it wasn't for Valhalla, that guy Ivar wasn't winning that match.
I do think it's time to change the subject.
What?
I do think it's time to change the subject. Now we do need to move on to something else.
Yeah, no, we just get a little bit. Yeah.
No, I know. It's an interesting debate. No, it's good. But yeah,
we've spent a little too long on this topic. Yeah, we spent a little bit too long on this topic. Let's move on.
It's like that TV host. Actually, like you have the debate going, and then actually, like the TV host has to come in and be like, you know what, guys, I'm sorry, but I have to cut it short, and now we're going to commercial. Like, you have to be that person, you know?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's just because actually. Because it's such a great debate, it's just you have to know like when to step in.
Yeah.
And I was in that moment. I'm like, I don't know if I should step in, but yeah, we gotta.
Yeah, let's get into the Royal Rumble. Luckily, it's gonna be a pretty short one. Luckily, because as I mentioned before, there's only 4 matches.
Great debate though. I like that debate.
So what we're gonna do for this predictions is we're gonna give our normal predictions for the regular matches and stuff. But for the Royal Rumble, what we are going to do is we're going to have it to where you get a main pick, which is worth 3 points. And Daniel, you have like a notepad on your phone, right?
Yes.
Okay, if you wouldn't mind, I want you to get it out and write down our predictions.
Sure. Okay.
So what we're going to do is for the Royal Rumble, men's and women's, you're going to have 3 choices. You're going to have a main pick. You're going to have a backup pick. And I've got a random number generator on my phone that's going to go from number 1 to 30, and that's your final pick. So the main pick is worth 3 points. Your secondary pick is 2 points, and the random number that's chosen for you is 1 point. But if somehow the number you chose is the same number as your pick to win the Royal Rumble, and they win, you get the 4 points. You get the 1 point for the random number and the 3 points for winning for your main pick winning the Rumble or your secondary pick.
Okay.
All right, you ready? All right, let's start with the main matches first. Let's get it out of the way. We got the United States Championship. Logan Paul defending against Kevin Owens. I never thought I'd say that sentence. Logan Paul defending the United States title. I never thought I'd hear that sentence come out of my mouth.
Do you want to do clockwise or counterclockwise?
Doesn't matter. You want to go first? Go ahead.
First, I think Logan Paul, he's probably going to keep it until Mania and probably lose it.
Okay, so B-Scat picks Logan Paul. I hate to say it, but I think it's the same. I think he's going to have him hold on until WrestleMania. Maybe a certain someone, might beat him for it at WrestleMania, hopefully. I think it's going to be like shenanigans. He's gonna like attack Kevin Owens' busted hand, and it's gonna help him retain the title. So I'm saying Logan Paul as well.
Ooh. First of all, I'm loving this fog, boys. I'm loving this
Yeah,
fog.
I figured you would.
Okay. Thank you guys for this ride out. You know what? I think they've been building this thing really hype, and they're like, a Canadian can't win the United States Championship. So I'm gonna say Kevin Owens.
Well, we've seen he's already won it before.
Yeah, he has won it before.
You know, so I'm gonna say I'm gonna go on the opposite way, and I'm gonna say Kevin's gonna beat Logan's ass.
I certainly would like to see that. I don't want to see Logan Paul holding a title any longer than he has to, but I don't know. I just hope. I hope
What's your
actually.
issue with Logan Paul?
He's a scam artist. He's a scumbag. That's what our issue is. I've been over this before. He's a scam artist and a scumbag. Anyway, moving on. We've got
How's he a
the.
scam artist, if you mind?
Yeah, I think he tried some like crypto zoo thing, and then like he took people's money, and he only now is he just starting.
Is this
to,
like a real thing? Like we're
Yeah.
just wrestling it, really?
Yeah, no, it's a real thing. If it was a wrestling gimmick, like I wouldn't care. But he's just an all around douchebag.
But that's his gimmick.
I mean, in real life, not just his gimmick. He's a real.
Wasn't he like the person that went to the Suicide Forest?
Yeah, that too. He was being an overall dick in Japan. He was like disrespecting them. He went to the Suicide Forest and made fun of people who killed themselves and whatnot. And you can't even tell me like this being young and stupid. Like that's just ridiculous.
So he's
There's
a
no
modern
excuse.
day Eminem then.
I don't think Eminem went to a suicide forest to make fun of
But he did some
people.
controversial shit though.
Yeah, but he never did something that shitty. At least I don't think.
Whatever Eminem did on a specific skill,
Yeah.
he didn't try to purposely hurt their feelings unless it was like his ex-wife or his mom for a certain point in time. Anyone else that he took a jab at or dissed, it was never personal. They were just light, kind of like let me throw a rock at you because your name rhymes with this, or like you said something about me, so I'm gonna say something about you. And Eminem always said he never met half the celebrities he dissed in real life. So he just had a couple things to go off of, and whatever. And that was like a cultural reset. The Marshall Mathers LP back in the day.
All right, so let's get off
Sorry,
of that.
I'm like your
I know. I know. Let's get off of that. Let's talk about the WWE Undisputed Heavyweight Championship match. Roman Reigns defending in a fatal 4-way against AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and LA Knight. Yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna start with this one. Honestly, I feel like this is the best possible chance for Roman to lose his title, but I'm still saying he's gonna retain because I don't think they're gonna have him drop it anywhere other than WrestleMania. But if he does lose, I feel like it's gonna be to Randy Orton if he loses. And I'm gonna go one step further. I'm gonna say the person who eats the pinfall will be, I hate to say it, he's my favorite of all time, but the person who's gonna eat the pinfall will be AJ Styles.
So two things. One, Roman is not losing until SummerSlam, probably to Cody. Second, I want Orton to win, but I am picking Reigns.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really bet against the guy.
There's a whole plan already written out. So, like, if he wants to beat Hogan's record, he has to have it until September. But he'll probably lose it at SummerSlam because that's where he won it a couple years ago. That's what I was reading online.
Possibly. I think they wanted to beat Hogan's record first.
You know what? He might lose it the day. Well, depending on like the day of the record beat, he might lose it the day after if there's a Raw or SmackDown.
No, because he doesn't work the TV shows like matches. He just shows up.
But you never know if they book him for that to have him lose.
Well, I think
Or
this
maybe
is in his
there'll be a
contract.
pay-per-view the next day. I don't know.
Well,
Like,
it
it's so
depends on
far
what's in
out,
his
but-
contract. I don't think he's definitely a part-timer. He doesn't show up all that
Oh,
often.
yeah, so let's let Daniel pick.
It defends his title even less, yeah.
So let's let Daniel.
Sorry, go ahead, Trouble.
The way I see it, Roman's gonna take like the win, but there's gonna be a spot in the match where LA Knight will have like Roman pinned, and it will be for like a 5 count, but the referee's not gonna be there.
Of course, typical Roman spot.
Yeah, like that's how I see that.
Yeah. And you know, I think, and you know the reason I said, I'm just going to say this real quick. The reason why I said AJ Styles is going to eat the pin, because of 2 reasons. 1, LA Knight can't afford to eat another pinfall. And 2, if Orton does, it's going to make him look extremely dumb, because we've heard for weeks now Orton telling Heyman, say, hey, tell Roman Daddy's back. So how's it going to make him look if he gets pinned by Roman Reigns, right? It's going to make him look dumb.
You know, it's funny. There's 3 of us and there's 4 opponents, right? Like, and I'm pretty sure this is gonna be like, B-Scat wants Orton, you want Styles, and I would have wanted Knight.
Would have wanted, yeah.
Yeah, but we know it's just we all know it's gonna be Roman.
I mean, sorry, it'll be Reigns, yeah.
So we're all picking Roman Reigns.
Of course.
Yeah.
But for fun, we should just choose who we actually believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a guaranteed way to lose. Anyway, all right, let's move on. We got the Royal Rumble matches. So what we are going to do for this particular Royal Rumble is we're going to have 3 picks. We're going to pick a main winner that's worth 3 points. We're going to pick a runner-up, like our secondary pick is 2 points. And again, I have a random number generator from 1 to 30, and whatever number it lands on, that's the number of your 3rd pick. So whoever comes out at that number, that's your 3rd pick, and they get 1 point. But again, if either of them match, like your 1st pick and the number they come out, or your 2nd pick and the number they come out, those points get added up.
Okay.
So you could win them out. You could win basically a maximum of 4 points.
Okay. Are we doing men's or females first?
We'll do women's first. So Daniel, why don't you go first for this one?
Okay, for women's, my main is Zoe Stark.
Main pick is Zoe Stark. Okay.
Yeah.
You writing all this down, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Just write that down, sorry.
That's okay.
Zoe. My second, it's kind of tough. Okay. I'll go with. Who's Arbor Fire's partner?
Isla Dawn?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Isla Dawn.
All right. Interesting picks. Stick it there. Sorry, give me a second. Probably be a good idea if I turned off my data. Okay, here we go. So I got the random number generator, and we're gonna randomize, and I'm gonna show the number on the camera. So you ready?
Yeah.
Randomize. Number 27.
Okay.
One of the numbers that gets one of the most wins in a Royal Rumble. It's not the most. I think number 30 is the most number from the most winners in the number 30 spot now. But that's your 3rd pick, number 27. All right, B-Scat, you want to go next?
Yeah. So my main pick is gonna be Nia Jax,
Okay.
and my second pick, is Becky Lynch injured?
No, she's in the Rumble.
My second pick is Becky Lynch,
2nd pick is Becky Lynch.
and my first is Nia Jax.
Nia Jax. All right. And the random number is number 15. It's your 3rd pick. All right.
Jax, Becky Lynch, number 15. Okay.
Yeah. As for me, my main pick is going to be Bayley. I think she's got the best. I think she's gonna win. And what I would like to see, I don't think it's actually gonna happen, but what I want to see is, like, even if she doesn't win, let's say the Royal Rumble winner, whoever that ends up being, takes their time picking who they want. So they have an Elimination Chamber match, and they say the winner of that match will face the women's champion that the Royal Rumble winner didn't pick. So if Bayley doesn't win the Rumble, let's say she wins the Chamber match, but then the women's Rumble winner declares, oh, I want to face Rhea. So that means Becky has to go after Io. That'd make it really interesting, like she doesn't have a choice kind of thing. But that aside, I think my number 1 pick is going to be Bayley. My 2nd pick, I'm going to say, is going to be Becky Lynch.
Oh, wow, you both Becky in the 2nd.
Yep. And my final pick Oh, number 50, and I can't do that. I can't
Can
do the
we
same number.
also add something to the Rumbles?
1 second. My final pick, number 20.
Are we able to also predict a special guest entry? Sorry, I know we're just talking.
I mean, if you want to, but do it like we should have discussed that earlier. But yeah, if you want to, okay. If you want to add it, if you want a special
and that
pick,
could be a bet too. So basically, like, let's say someone picks Lita. If she enters the Rumble, that's a point.
okay. If you want to do that, that's fine too.
Okay, so, but yeah, so like we've all picked our women's.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess
So
then.
let's pick our celebrity, and let's just call it like a celebrity entrance.
Okay.
Surprise entrance. Yeah. Do you want me to go first?
Well, since since Daniel went first, we should have.
I already know who he's gonna pick.
Yeah,
Alexa Bliss.
Oh, I remember.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Me.
Yep.
Trish Stratus.
Damn it, that was my pick.
I mean, you can just pick Lita because we don't know if she's gonna.
Okay, no, I got one. Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I think she's gonna enter the Rumble. All right, now let's.
And
move on.
if our special one wins, I guess that's a point too. Like if Trish Stratus was doing it, which I don't see.
You get no. You don't get a point if they win.
Okay.
You just get a point if they show up.
Okay. Yeah. It's just something that.
Yeah, that's
Something
fine.
that I just
That's
thought of.
something, yeah.
Men's Royal Rumble now.
All right, Men's Royal Rumble. So I'll go first this time if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
So my main pick to win is going to be Cody Rhodes. I think he's going to go back to back. He's going to win the Rumble, and he's going to obviously challenge Roman Reigns. Because I don't see how else they're going to get him to WrestleMania if that's what they're. I know Sports Illustrated is saying like, oh, he's not going to finish the story this year, but I take that stuff with a grain of salt. I don't believe it's going to happen. My secondary pick, kind of out there, but I'm going to say my secondary pick is going to be Gunther.
Nice.
He had a hell of a run last year. He was so close to winning it, but obviously Cody Rhodes took it away because he won number 30. So my secondary pick is Gunther. My final pick, random number.
And also your celebrity pick after.
Yeah. Final pick, random number 28. And my special guest.
Whatever we call it.
Yeah, my special surprise return, Braun Strowman.
Nice.
All right, who wants to go next?
Guess me. Okay, main pick CM Punk. Secondary pick.
Hold on, let me give me a chance to write it down.
It's a small name.
I know, but still.
Okay, main pick CM Punk. Second pick Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes is CM Punk, Cody Rhodes.
CM Punk main pick.
Yeah. Number 5. It's your third pick.
And surprise entrance.
That's gotta be Kane.
I'm trying to think. This is hard now. I'm trying to think who's not in 8. Hulk Hogan.
Really?
Because they're celebrating Hulkamania this year.
That's unreal.
And then they had that promo on Monday too, or whatever.
Well, apparently he's rumored to have a match at Mania. Last match, but I'm just gonna go out there and say Hulk Hogan.
Once we finish our picks, Trey might find somewhere to Yui and come back.
Find somewhere to eat.
I said Yui, take a Yui.
Yeah, but we're not done yet.
Once we finish our Royal Rumble picks.
Yeah, of course. But
Okay.
there's still more to talk about.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to take that much longer.
Who knows? Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, sorry, Trouble. What are you-
Oh yeah.
I got number 5, right? Sorry.
Yeah, number
okay,
5.
Sorry, I didn't. Sorry. Go ahead.
So
Main pick.
my main pick is Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
Let's see, second pick. Man, this one is tricky. Oh, you know what? Jey Uso.
That's an interesting one.
Jey Uso, second
All right. And third. Number 2. Well, that's interesting. And surprise entrant,
Surprise. Joe Gacy.
Joe Gacy. That's a good one. All right. Well, that's it
Oh,
for.
I've been to that McDonald's before. It's by a bowling alley.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. All right, so that's it for our Royal Rumble predictions. Now we're gonna move on to a lot of crazy news that's happened over the past couple weeks. Let's start
This
with
past week, you mean?
well, yeah, pretty much. Let's start with like kind of positive news. Is The Rock is joining the board of directors for TKO.
And he's also getting his own show or something.
I think he already had his own show.
Well, he's getting another new show.
I know he's like promoting the XFL and stuff, and he's got. Do you think The Rock's gonna maybe show up at the Rumble?
I was gonna pick The Rock.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. But is it gonna be in the Rumble match? Do you think it might be in the Rumble match itself, or do you think it's to interfere and maybe cost Roman Reigns the title?
No, I just think he's gonna make an appearance.
There's rumors he might face him at Mania too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he might, because Rock and Roman really doesn't need the title, and it makes it a foregone conclusion if it is. If it is a title match, it makes it a foregone conclusion. But yeah, so Rock is a member, and apparently he did it. One of the reasons he did it was to get the rights to his own name, like his ring name, The Rock. So that's pretty interesting. And now for kind of the downer, yeah. Oh man, this whole thing with Vince
WWE is
McMahon.
going to Netflix next year.
That too. Oh yeah, that too. I'm pissed about that,
the Vince McMahon
honestly.
thing last, because that's like.
Yeah, I'm pissed about that, to be honest with you.
I mean, yes, but if it means possibly going to rated R, let's do it. Because at least
I don't
they're
see
off
that.
of cable TV.
They're gonna be on Wokeflix. Come on, man.
You never know.
Not gonna get rated R. There's no way.
There's some nudity on Netflix if you want certain movies.
Look, man, when Netflix first came out, it was almost like it was a huge experiment.
Yeah.
I remember watching this one random horror movie that it was an experimental film, and it was like, it got so boring, like a few minutes into it, it was just nothing but like electronic music and nudity. And I was just like, I don't see the point to this film, so I left. Now this whole thing about going to Netflix, I just like, unless I'm wrong, I just think it's another way to watch it. I don't think it's coming right directly off of cable.
No, it is.
It is.
They're moving exclusively to Netflix. They're even getting rid of WWE Network.
Oh really?
It's
Yeah.
I never heard that part.
January 2025, Raw and all pay-per-views are moving to Netflix. Except for in the States, they're gonna stay on Peacock for another year or so, but then they're moving to Netflix too.
That's why you should get IPTV, ladies.
So like, what about the Score, or what, Score 360 is not gonna have
Nope,
Raw?
apparently not.
Really?
That's what I'm so pissed about.
That's strange.
To fucking get a Netflix subscription.
Or just get IPTV
Or don't get the Netflix prescription and just watch everything.
through IPTV. Yeah.
No, I just like pick up on everything through. Well, that's an option. Sorry, that's not what I was
$15 a month.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I was gonna say just watch the reviews and like clips online.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, but I'm kind of guy that likes to kick back and watch pay-per-views, you know? Like how, like...
Or find a streaming link online, like Alex.
Oh god, I'm not doing that again. Fucking, you know how many viruses I'm gonna get off of that?
Are
Anyway,
you gonna get the COVID virus?
no, just computer virus.
Some parts.
Yeah, maybe start turning around soon because it's already been 40 minutes. I don't think we're gonna have that much left to talk about.
I'll turn around once we end it. Relax.
Who knows how long that's gonna be though? It's already midnight.
Okay, well, keep on talking, Brandon. The faster you talk, the faster we get it done.
I just think that by the time we get back to where we are, we'll be done anyway. But
Anyways,
anyway.
are we done the Netflix topic?
I'm just mad about it. You know, I hate it.
Oh
If
no,
they're getting, I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, if they're getting like, I didn't realize that they're getting rid of the WWE Network,
Yep.
which is a huge bummer. But if that's the case, then I'm hoping that every single episode of Monday Night Raw would be in the history.
We're near Haunted Hollows right now.
Yeah, where they usually have it.
It's like somewhere over here.
Yeah, it's just over there, I think.
Yeah, it would be in the history of, like season 1, season 2, whatever.
Yeah.
What is happening over there?
Who knows?
It's like we were just randonauting.
Yeah, I think eventually all WWE stuff will be over on Netflix, but I don't know how they're gonna sort it out. Like if they're gonna have its own thing, or are you gonna have to look for it all the time, or who knows?
I'm gonna tell you, like, it's a huge bummer that something like that's gonna happen, because I didn't realize the major impact that this is gonna take place on cable, because just like myself and a whole generation of people, multiple generations, everyone was extremely used to what Monday Night Raw on cable television. It was the longest episodic running show, which was super neat.
Yeah, it was 30 years. 31 years.
This Netflix. Now I just remember B-Scat mentioning, like, yo, it would be really cool that they can rated R stuff. They can do a lot more. I'm more on the other side of, like, I appreciated them working through limitations that they had on TV, because for my personal opinion, I don't think WWE needs to go the direction of dropping a bunch of, like, F-bombs and stuff. I just don't. I think it was more entertaining when there was limitations, because you can just see how mad someone's gonna get, but like they're on cable on a certain, under a certain rating, they can't say a certain thing. I think there was something special in that. Then you just go somewhere and just be like, you have no rules, do whatever you want. Just like all the time though, kind of like it's gonna lose its magic.
Yeah, I agree. I think TV 14's okay, like a couple swear words here and there. But like because the Attitude Era, like I think people look back on it with rose-colored glasses. It wasn't as great as people remember it. It was chaotic as hell, and yeah, I guess that's a good thing sometimes, but not always. So if people wanted to go back to that, I don't think it's gonna have nearly the same impact or nearly the same fun as it was the first time around. Plus, that's just not the world we live in anymore. It's sad, but that's how it is,
Yeah, because everything is available.
You saying that? Oh my God, Brandon, you're turning into a liberal. Wow, breaking news.
And yeah, like it's just.
I don't even know what you mean by
the shock.
that,
Like what was cool about it was the shock value, and like the lawsuit they were willing to take on something. You're programming. You showed like strippers, and there was a sex tape, and you tried to sacrifice somebody. Wow, this is wrestling. Yeah, it's also entertainment. Okay, $1 million lawsuit. All right, keep suing me. I'm still gonna put it on the air. Like that shit was badass. Now you can do whatever you want with no limitations. That kind of defeats the whole purpose. Like even when you watch the Purge movie, you can do everything for one day, and then you go back to like living under some constructive rules, some peace and quiet and quality, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I think with Netflix, it's just because they're like super woke, like I said. So I don't think they'd allow a lot of the stuff.
How are they super woke?
Well, take Cleopatra for example. You see that? Did you ever see that? Trying to pass out that Cleopatra was actually a black woman. Like, come on. If that's not trying to seem woke and diversity and all that stuff, I don't know what is. Anyway, let's move on from that. Let's talk about the whole
Vince McMahon, the newest scandal. Speaking of
Jesus Christ,
wokeness. Yeah, so apparently a former staffer, not a wrestler, she tried to get a job there, and then he slept with her and did all this crazy shit. Yeah.
Well, it's a little more than what you're letting on, but yeah, it's he tried to, let's say, use her like a Dubai porta potty.
Like he had a threesome with her. And,
well, him and Laurinaitis apparently.
Oh, that's who it was?
Well,
they didn't see the name on CNN. Like they just said another staffer.
Well, no,
It was
okay,
John
okay, no,
Laurinaitis?
it might have been. I don't know. Everything's just alleged right now.
Because on
Nothing's been-
CNN they didn't say the other name. But
Everything's just been alleged right now, but I will say this: the fact that he tried to get her to sign a non-disclosure agreement doesn't exactly help his innocence.
And
then,
apparently he shit on her and fucking did all this other crap. Oh yeah.
apparently, that's what she's saying anyway. I don't know. We'll never know for sure if it actually happened or not. All I'm saying is, like, with all the other stuff,
Is she suing him, or like is she?
I think
coming
so.
out? Okay, well
I
then
think
it might
she's-
come out because if they're going to court. But it's like you'll never actually know. Like,
yeah, like the court, they don't know. They weren't
a
there.
lot of
Like,
these
there's
cases are
evidence
he
and
said,
stuff.
she said, and actually like they take so long. Like even with the Peter Nygaard
I think-
thing, like the guy's 70.
Yeah.
And actually he did this like, when he was what 20? Like that's so long ago. Like no one's gonna remember. And it's not like you put a camera up in your room. And actually, I was just talking about this like with my dad earlier. Nowadays, you almost have to wear a GoPro camera if you want to have sex.
Pretty much.
Although, from what I've heard,
Those aren't even admissible.
if the girl is drunk and she still consents, if she claims something, it's still a crime. Because
Yeah, that's
actually,
so
like she's drunk
ridiculous.
and she didn't know better. But how's that my problem if I didn't get her drunk?
That's ridiculous.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I find that
iffy.
ridiculous.
Like if I'm getting her drunk and getting her fucked up, then yes. But like if I'm at a bar and she's buying her own drinks, how is that on me? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what
Her mindset, like it's something if I force her, but
well,
like,
apparently, if she's drunk,
Yeah.
she's apparently too drunk to consent.
right. But I'm
Like
not
it doesn't
the one.
matter who
but if I'm not
got her
the
drunk
one-
though.
Okay,
If
so
you're the one who had sex with her,
and I'm
and
a
she was
liberal
she
voter.
was
I just want to put that
and
out
she
there. I'm
was
not saying this.
supposedly too drunk to
Yeah.
consent. It doesn't matter who got her drunk or she got herself
Yeah.
drunk. The fact is, you quote unquote took advantage of her, and
Okay.
that's a crime now.
So I've been to parties, I've worked in clubs. Girl gets drunk on her own, comes up to you and goes, "Yo, babe, I want to have sex." Am I supposed to tell her no?
well, if you don't
And
want to
then if
get
I
in
tell her
trouble,
no,
if you don't want to get
And
in
then she
trouble,
follows me home? Like, I don't know, man. Like, we have some weird laws in Canada.
no shit. And you know what's even more messed up
Yeah.
about it is the fact that if she is sober, but you're drunk, and she does
I
stuff
can't
to,
claim it.
exactly.
No.
That's
But
what's
here's
so
what I'm
fucked
gonna
up.
say. Now, here's where my liberal, and that guy just went over the curb. Here's where my liberal.
Fuck that.
Here's where my liberalism comes into play, because like we're in Canada, and this is true. We have a lot of people who are gay, male and male, and also female and female. Just what you said, Brandon. Let's say that happened with a gay man. Why can't that gay man do what the straight woman can do? Right?
Because he's a man.
No. So you're actually hitting every. You're
Because he's
actually
a-
turning
he's-
into a liberal, Brandon.
No,
I
because
actually
he's
like this.
because he's a man. He
Yeah.
can't. He like he's.
And again, like, it's
the,
not-
the law.
I'm
The way the
sorry,
law.
yeah.
The way the law is. It's
Yeah.
like, it's basically treating women like children, essentially.
But honestly, now it's like I know a little bit about this. It's not so much mainstream, but stuff happens in the gay community that also happens in the straight community, but it's not talked about. You know what I mean? Like there are guys who are sexually assaulted by guys. You don't hear about it a lot on the news, but it happens.
Well, no,
And-
because guys don't like to talk. The guys don't like
yeah,
to talk about and
but,
admit stuff like that.
it makes you wonder. Like I don't know. I don't really know a lot of people like who've been in those situations, but like if that ever happened to a gay person, like could they go to court and do all this like that we're seeing like with Vince McMahon, right? Like it's interesting.
I think it's possible, but
or
I'm
like
not
let's say it's a
sure.
female and female, right?
All I know is if
Yeah.
anything, if she, all that stuff she's alleging against Vince
Yeah.
McMahon, if she consented to it, then she shouldn't have a case. But unfortunately, the way the law is nowadays,
Yeah.
she can retroactively
Or
withdraw.
laws need to be reviewed sometimes, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
fine, but it's not like it shouldn't be. You can just go around one day and have sex with whoever you want, and then the next, or do really messed up things, and then turn around the next day and be like, "Oh, actually, I didn't want to do that, so you raped me,"
Right.
even though you were all into it
Yeah.
that day. if you turn around the next day and you be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that, you shouldn't be able to go
Yeah.
to the cops and say, I was, or he didn't have my consent. I was raped just because you regretted it.
Just
And-
because like all of a sudden you're broke.
Yeah.
Well, no, if
And you
if
need a quick cash grab.
or
yeah, well,
sorry.
yeah.
Or also, here's what can happen too. Like, as we're seeing with Trump, let's say, for example, you Brandon, like, have a relationship with a girl. Okay, everything's fine. Then all of a sudden, Brandon is running for prime minister. All of a sudden, all these people come out. Oh, Brandon did this to me. It's also that they don't want you to get to where you want to be.
Yeah, and then that shouldn't be
Because have you ever
allowed.
noticed that? Like, if you run for politics, all of a sudden, all this dirt comes out, and it's like,
Look
who's
at-
this,
look at-
who's
look
that?
at-
You know what I mean? Like,
Look at that guy
yeah.
that Trump tried to appoint on the Supreme
even
Court.
like, look at the girl today. Like, of course, like, he had to pay her back, but like the girl from the changing room. You know, like, a lot of it, yes, it's about the money part, but at the same time, it's also so you cannot get into power. Like, if you're running for politics, or let's say you become a famous person, that person may also try to put you down, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
kind of thing shouldn't really be allowed,
Yeah,
especially
I
if
think-
it happened. Sorry, I just gotta say this. If it happened, then it should be brought up immediately, because that way it's less chance of people doubt. Like, you want people to believe you. Well, don't wait like 10 or 20 years. Or until like they're super rich and famous
Right.
to kind of come out and say, "Oh, he did this to me 20 years ago." Like, if you want people to believe you, don't pull that shit.
So
do
here's
it
the
as
thing.
soon as it happens.
Yeah, so here in Canada, we don't have any statute of limitations
Yeah,
on
that's
sexual
bullshit.
assault. Other places do what's been at 5 years. So that means
That's kinda bullshit.
if there's no statute on limitations, you can come out at 9. Okay, like, we've seen this with the Gordon Stuckless, with the guy at Maple Leaf Gardens. Also, like, with the residential schools. You could be 70 years old and claim sexual assault
When you were
against-
7, like, for
against
example.
teachers who are 80. Like, it's like, it's like Daniel said, like, it's almost a money grab.
It is.
Yeah.
May as well be, at least.
Yeah.
Now,
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
now, if I look at it like this, if something disgusting did happen to
Of
you,
course. Yeah.
honestly, for some people,
Yeah.
it does take 50 years for
Yeah.
them to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Because they, like, you don't know, every single person's different, and you just don't know when they just want to give up on life and they just want to come out and say, yeah, this did happen to me. You can say that happened to you, and that shit sucks, and like a lot of people will feel bad for you, but for you, and then you want justice against the person that did that to you, get them to confess. And honestly, like, it would be, I personally think, just like a straight up, like, yo, we need closure on this topic.
Yeah.
I want to just talk to this person, like, maybe not overthrow and completely ruin their life, but I just want them to admit it and apologize and never talk to me again.
Of course.
Like, that'd be a
Yeah.
route
And
that some people can go. I don't live in a world currently where I ever sit around and think about suing people. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But I know that a lot of people out there like this law
Yeah.
game and people
Yeah.
suing left, right, and center. You know what I'm saying?
Especially people who
Yeah.
don't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they know that
Well,
some
and
people have money.
that's
Yeah.
what you said about, like, confronting the person several years after the fact or
Yeah.
decades after the fact. The problem with that is like, how could some of them possibly remember?
That's
like, maybe
exactly, yes.
what if you come to somebody like 20, 30 years after the
Yeah.
fact and they're old, they got dementia,
Yes.
how are they possibly going to remember
Well, this
what
is
happened?
exactly what happened with the Nygaard trial. He's 70, 80 years old. Man's in a wheelchair. His lawyer said, like, this man cannot go to prison. Also, it's very hard to prosecute crimes like that because, again,
Especially after all that
memory,
time.
and also he said, she said. There were no, okay, like, I know that I think there weren't any cameras, like, in bathrooms, but, like, back in the day, there were no security cameras anywhere. So it's he said, she said.
Okay,
It was-
I have to make one thing
Yeah,
clear.
of course.
Sorry. I jumped topics
Mhm.
as I was speaking. So I started off talking about like a sexual assault case and stuff. I don't live in that world either. Okay. What I meant was I don't live in the world of suing people. This is what I was trying to reference.
Yeah.
This came to my understanding a little later in my life. I was doing a show one day, and I set up this entire area where I was going to be spraying Faygo and other like Monster and whatever. And I said, if you guys want to join my wild craziness, come into this splash zone area.
Okay.
And so a few months later, my one friend was like, yo, you know, if I didn't know you and stuff like that, and this is the first time, and you got like Four Loko on like my shoes, I would have like sued you or something. You know? And I'm like, what the hell?
You literally said it's a splash zone.
I never think like that. You know what I'm saying? I never think like that. So, and like, the reason that he said that is because, like, for example, some of the fake blood or whatever could have come outside of the splash zone up on areas I didn't cover.
Yeah.
Because we got crazy and wild.
Yes.
Nothing like that happened. Nothing like that took place. But when I started talking about suing and I don't live in a world, my brain went immediately to the concert thing, not about like sexual assault cases.
Yeah.
But to scale it back, the whole thing is like, I haven't come across a situation where I'm like, I want to sue this person, this, that, and the third, because I just, you know, like life hasn't brought me through trials and tribulations like that.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how to play that ball game.
Yeah.
Court. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no.
Right, but if you're gonna sue somebody, if you want them to pay for what they did, you want to see them go to jail. You don't wait years or decades after the fact to come out. You do it. You should do it right away. Like they said, especially if you go on social, this is what I hate. Okay, I'm sorry, I gotta say this.
Of course.
This is what I hate. It's people who come out on social media, like Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and say, so and so did something to me. Like, why don't you file a police report? Because it's usually bullshit. But if it is true, why are you filing a police report? Why are you doing it on the? That's why I really don't trust if they come out and say it on social media. I mostly believe it's bullshit.
So here's the thing, like with the 50-year-old charges and stuff. Sometimes when they do come out, they can still charge you. Like we just seen a couple years ago, and even still now, there are still people.
Yeah, but how can you possibly
who
prove
were
it 50
Nazis
years after the fact?
Who are, because there's no statute of limitations, which is the key word.
Yeah, but that's not the point. I'm saying, how can you possibly prove it after all those years?
That's exactly it. Like it's he said, she said. But anyways, there are still people who are Nazis, 80, 90 years old, who are still being prosecuted to this day. There's a guy in Germany, 99 years old. He got life in prison because actually, like, he was an Auschwitz guard.
What was that, like 2-3 years?
Life in prison.
I know.
Well,
but he's 99 years old. How long is that going to last?
He deserves it, yes, but like the man.
I'd say at that. I'd say at that point it's more like a symbolic thing than anything else.
Now,
sorry, Daniel. Yeah, go ahead.
Now, also, what I was gonna say was like these cases that you might see of like people coming out and saying something about some. You know, now here's the thing. I don't know. You don't know, and the guy, son of Sam, doesn't know. The person making the accusation knows, and the person being accused knows. Because there's always three sides to a story. Sometimes when I hear stuff on the news that this happened to me, whatever, and they're coming out like years later, remember, it takes two to tango, and you gotta, sometimes I think that it might not be true, because like they might have put themselves in a position where they were trying to sleep with the director to get a big role or something.
Harvey Weinstein.
There was a lot of that shit, and there probably still is a lot of that shit, unfortunately, going on, because there's a lot of like mindsets thinking that this is a thing. When we're trying to bring this to the light, no, dude, that's really how shit should not be going. And if you are facing that type of shit right now, come forward and put that person on blast, because you don't deserve to be going through stressful shit like that. If you have acting skills, you have acting skills, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like, no one should be taking advantage of you. And if they cut you for that role, fuck it, go find a different role and respect. Never, you know, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you gotta turn down $1 million for $1,000, but you keep your life intact. And the person that was trying to play you, they will slip, because the truth always gets revealed.
And nowadays, there's a lot more of a supporter environment. Like, there's a Me Too movement. There's a lot more. Like, it's more common. So, like, you have a support network. Exactly.
Well, and that's the thing, and yeah, that's
To an extent.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, the thing about Weinstein is like all those women are coming forward saying, "Oh, he was so awful. I feared for my life or whatever. Like I felt like I had to do it." Well, no, first of all, you didn't have to do it. You chose to do it because you wanted to get a career in Hollywood. And second of all, those women are coming forward and say like, "Oh, I feared for my life. I was so afraid of him." And then you see them posing for pictures with him. They're smiling. They're like got their arm around him, or he's got his arm around them. You know.
Now we're like, I'm gonna go on a limb here and speak. The three of us are not trying to dismiss real things that did happen.
No, of course not.
No,
if
no.
it happened, of course, go. That's what I say.
But there's
File
a lot of,
Sorry, let me just say this real quick. If it happened, file a police report. Have it investigated. You know, don't go crying to social media. Don't go waiting around for decades. Fucking get the bastard right away.
And sometimes when some people do come out on social media and they do bring their stories forward, is because they probably tried to take the steps you just said. But if Hollywood movies have taught me anything, there's a lot of people tied into certain scandals, and sometimes the police won't do anything. Like that movie Vengeance. And I'm not trying to.
Well, maybe that's their thing in India, but it's not a thing out in the West, especially now.
No, but some of these small towns and stuff, man. Like a lot of smaller towns and stuff. There could be a whole
The police is extremely corrupt.
Yeah. You know, so some people have to go the broader route in order to get their story to blow up for things to make a little more sense.
In the U.S., Brandon, so now let me explain. In the U.S., in certain states, you actually vote in chiefs of police or sheriffs as well. You also vote in district attorneys who are prosecutors, and you also elect judges. So that's kind of corruption because, like, let's say you vote for a judge and you donate a lot of money. Do you think if you get pulled over, that judge is going to say, "Hey, Brandon donated billions of dollars to my campaign. There you go. You're free to go." Same with if you elect a sheriff. You think if you're running a dope operation, you think that sheriff's going to raid you if you gave him $1 billion? No. That's why the U.S. is the way it is. Yes, it happens here, but it's more common in small town USA because you elect a lot more people.
So some of those people.
So that's what he's trying to get at as well.
Yeah. So people in those scenarios.
The police are extremely corrupt
because the authorities are not going to help you. So that's why you have massive amounts.
You have to call out
wanting
the
real
corruption.
justice.
Well, they may be true, but they gotta at least keep up appearances to make it seem like so. They're gonna you think they would at least maybe against certain people, okay, but if it's just random Joe Schmo off the street and he did something to you, odds are they're gonna investigate. And,
One of the best examples, Tupac's murder, Biggie's murder, a bunch of. How can you discover all these other crimes and shit and you can't figure out this one thing? And then because of social media, so many years later, the photo that surfaced, there's no key in that ignition. They ain't even stopping anywhere. That photo was set up. It was the same photo passed around for the last 20 years. There's just so much in the background. You gotta go trust the vibes, man. You can feel it and sense it out of a person if you're really gonna get help or not. That's why the movies are the way they are, because they're actually portraying real how things actually are in some of these smaller towns in the US and stuff. I don't know if it's true, but I wonder if there are the super troopers out there anywhere, you know what I'm saying?
Well, who knows? Anyway,
But this whole thing about Vince,
Yeah, so we don't know for sure if he did it, but it doesn't look all that good for him, especially with all the other stuff he's got going on.
See, Vince has so many like sexual assault charges, claims against him.
And well, he officially just stepped down too from TKO. So
some of the some of these things just might be true because at a certain point in time in his life, he probably felt like he had all the power.
Oh, I'm definitely not saying like they're absolutely 100% false. There's no way. I'm saying that. Well, at least she didn't wait as long as some of them have, because there's been people coming out saying like stuff like that happened to them like 10, 20, 30 years ago, whatever. But like, if it only happened recently, like, yeah, okay, that's not too bad, you know.
Well, also, like, some of those cases, if they did sign a cease and silence agreement, they might lose some of their cases because now they've spoken, because they agreed not to.
Are those actually binding, though? Like, I don't know much about them.
Well, I don't know, but I know apparently the reason why she did it was because he was supposed to pay her $3 million, but he stopped after like the first $1 million.
That's why they encourage you, if you ever sign stuff like that, to always speak to an attorney first. So she fucked herself over if she signed that.
And you got to imagine the circumstances.
Well, to be fair, if it's an agreement, like say, I agreed to not talk about it if you agreed to do this. Well, he supposedly reneged on his agreement, which was to pay her $3 million.
Oh, so there you go. So
that's what I said. He stopped paying.
She has a little bit of an argument there.
Apparently he paid her $1 million, and then he just stopped paying her.
We need to turn this into a law show because this is really cool.
Jesus.
We actually need to bring on a lawyer or something. Like, we need to get a female lawyer on here. I actually know one who might be able to come on and talk to us.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, because we do need a female on this show.
Probably be twice as long as
this one. Because a bunch of guys are
is.
talking about sexual assault and like we don't have a female. That's a little bit. Yeah.
Well, depending on the female we get, I'm not so sure she'd be willing to talk about stuff like that.
No, we're talking about it on a professional level.
Well, no, but I mean, some of the stuff we talk about, you know.
Yeah, but it's not like we're doing it in a very professional manner.
Oh, I don't know if she's a lawyer, but like that one lady that goes to wrestling, loves wrestling, and also shows up at like a bunch of these.
The one you met, right? Yeah.
That'd be dope to have.
I know another lady. Yeah. So I guess that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we've been going over an hour.
I do have.
Okay.
Sorry, I do have to do music stuff. Yeah, sorry. I know this is the longest one we've done yet.
Pretty much.
Now I'm gonna make it short and sweet. So on the music front, for me at BME as well as Alex, we have a new artist signed, Master Ruff. Great guy. He actually came to us and like he wanted to sign. So yeah, he's a producer. He's a rapper. He has that West Coast vibe. I don't know where exactly you can find his music. I still got to work with him and see if he's got it online. But now the second big announcement, you can see him and MC King of the Six perform tomorrow at Body the Beat 5, hosted by 416 Solo and Critical Music Group at Rival Sports Pub, 560 Danforth Avenue in Toronto. So is at 9:30.
You should clarify tomorrow as in today.
Yeah, sorry. Saturday. Oh yeah, because I'm actually posting this to. No, because like this is getting posted early.
Exactly.
Because of Royal Rumble. So tonight, whatever.
The 27th.
Yeah, 9. So at 9:30, tickets are $10 at the door. Make sure you come out. Master Ruff is performing and MC King of the Six, and also a ton of other artists. We'll see you there. A lot more coming in 2024. I don't know what yet, but there's a lot of shit coming up.
And keep an eye out. I'm going to be posting. Troubles graciously decided to help me film a Royal Rumble review. So keep an eye out for that. I'm probably going to post it Sunday morning.
Also happening on Saturday night as the Royal Rumble goes on and as Body the Beat goes on. Real Wolf will be at the Rock Pile doing a listening party for their new album, The Witching Hour.
Cool.
So shout out Real Wolf and the Rock Pile.
What's a listening party?
They'll play.
Listen to the album. Yeah.
So they're not actually performing.
No, there's going to be performances as well.
Oh, okay. Like I I mean, like a listening party is, like I said, you'd just be sitting there listening to a record. I've never heard of that before. That's really cool. Okay.
Interesting.
If I was free, I would go check that out. And anyways,
I'm sure Trouble would too.
Yeah.
well, I mean, if there's time after the Rumble.
Well, that's-
man, you know the distance, like.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it.
I think so.
All right, guys. We'll see you when we see you. Peace.
Take it easy.